Oh my gosh, and we are live on Facebook Live and here on our amazing The Love Mastery podcast. And I am excited today. Before we even started this conversation, it just got really nice and spicy and lovable and devoted to this amazing energy we're bringing to you today. And I want to welcome you to the Love Mastery podcast. This space is to where we get to explore where we get to be ourselves in our authentic devotional way in ourselves where we could be raw, true, honest, and share love through our relationships, our life, our entrepreneurship, and what truly means to create a life that you deeply fall in love with. And it's so beautiful to invite amazing people like Marie today. And I am your host, Blanca Angelica Rivera Reyes. I'm also known by Blangelica, the Love Mastery Mentor, the Seductors of Love. And today we have a beautiful conversation. And when do we not have one? Because it's so important to just be ourselves and to come here and share with the world the most beautiful life. And yes, I'm not here to say that everything is beautiful and peaches and fucking cream because we all know that we come from a different journeys and different things that we have to let go. But the most beautiful thing is that when we shape and perform whatever we have to create in our world to devote ourselves to the most beautiful love that you have within yourself, we start creating things that create impact for the whole world. And today I have the pleasure to introduce you to Mary Ann that correct me if I'm wrong. Detmers?
Yes, it's Marie Ann Dettmers.
Oh, perfect, perfect. And let me just say this, ladies, if you're watching us live, get closer, my dear, because we're going to talk about today about the devotional woman and also the seduction codes framework and the red room. Why? Why? Because this lady has come and she initiated that devotion. She initiated her love within herself and her relationship, her life and also building her business. And I love this. Everyone has a story, and I am so fucking proud to just introduce you to Mary and to welcome her here home. Also, her mission is also to do a revolution, to create this amazing space for women to feel free to talk about fucking sex, to feel free in their feminine power, to feel free to devote yourself to more because you're meant for more. You're always meant for more. And to create that embodiment that you truly desire. Because if you are in this journey, you know the embodiment is your goal for every single day. You feel deeply, so why not create it the way you are? Thank you for being here. And Marie, I want to welcome you, but outside of business, outside of who you represent, because we come here on social media, we use it for our business, but who are you behind closed doors? Who is Marie Ann?
It's such a loaded question because it really pick a topic I can talk all day about. I am a woman on a self-love journey, to be quite honest, exploring the extraordinary ways of how we can live life. My life revolves around family. I have a loving twin flame husband um, that is, you know, my everything. And we have two beautiful boys. Uh, if you see the background here, we love everything outdoors. We are a very adventurous, active family from beach vacations to hiking in the summer heat of Arizona. We love anything outdoors, golf, in being my son and I take horseback riding. So we are very outdoorsy kind of people. I am everything personal growth and development. I love talking about love and building connections and relationships. You can pick a topic and we can probably have an in depth conversation. I am not here necessarily for surface level. I enjoy meeting new people, but I also love to have deep, soul connected conversations. So, anything you want to talk about, I'm your girl because I just love just meeting people and engaging and understanding other people's stories. I think they're the most phenomenal thing is when we start talking about our journeys, we can learn so much from one another. And I am so excited to be here.
Oh, well, I'm excited too. And I know it's every time you come into a space where you feel like you're home, we get so excited that we forget we were going live. And then
Yes.
we started talking about our lives, and here we are. We took it from behind the curtains to now to you to bring this amazing experience. And I want to ask, like, what is devotional for you? Because this year, 2026, that's the word for the year. Not only doing the inner work, but devoting myself to more to who I'm
Yes.
meant to be, to more of who I am, to more of always being her, to more of whatever it is. There's always more. So when you talk about devotional, what truly means to you?
It's literally, to me, it's built in my human design. I have the gate of details and the 916 channel in my human design, which is all about pleasure and play and devotion and what you want to focus your life on. And to me, devotion, it's a very subjective. What are you devoting yourself to? It is your life. So what do you want to focus on? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to become? Like, it's in the personal growth and development world, like, who are you and your identity work. To me, the devotional woman is actually, it's step one of what I call 50 shades of strawberry, and really learning how to be seduced by life and understanding, you know, you are a vast, brilliant light being. Like, we are human being and we're being human all at the same time. And if you take a look at the duality of life, it's really all about who you are. But I'm a mom. I'm a dedicated wife. I am, a sister. I am all these different things. I'm a cook. I'm, a leader. I'm all these things. And it's really starting for me. It was just a journey of understanding, all those different pieces. And just because I'm a mom doesn't mean I can't be something else. And so it is literally, for me, devotion is all about how do you want to live your life and in what context, and understanding the way you work energetically and some of these core themes. um, I believe, the biggest ones that trip us up is money, sex, and power. And as women, we are constantly, if you will, trading that. We see it all the time, giving our power away in people pleasing and over giving at the expense of money, or giving money, for sex, and sex for power. We see all of these dynamics playing out. And for me, it's take a breath and look around you, and what is it that you really want to focus on, because I believe that if we own ourselves as women and the divine beings that we are, the literally, we can manifest anything that we want and bring it into the world. It's marrying heaven on earth when we align our feminine and masculine energies. So to me, that's where I focus my devotion. My devotion is to, how do I become whole and complete? And it's not about, constantly, because we are human, we trip up, we make mistakes. But when we bump into, you know the hardships and things like that, but to always, remember that we're safe, we're secure. And where do we want to focus our energy now? So to me, devotion is more of a center of focus in who you are and what it is that you want, and what you can change, what you cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference. The serenity prayer is a reminder, and what that means for you probably will be different than me. And at the same time, you can also find a lot of synergies.
I love that. I also have the devotion channel, and we devote ourselves in different aspects of our life, and we continue to devote more and more, please, more, please. And I think
Yes.
it's beautiful when women actually get to learn their balance and how to balance them out. That doesn't mean that we can't take action when we need to, because in reality, sometimes if you're working by yourself and you're single, there's gonna be times that you have to balance them out. That
Correct.
doesn't mean that it's all gonna come to you. There's always an actionable step that you have to take, but it's how to balance your life so that you could just come and show up every day, that you're not burnt out, that you're not overwhelmed, because it can be done. I come from a deep masculine energy, and at
Yes.
times I fucking use it. I go and kill it all day long, and then I come back and I take care of myself. And then next thing you know, it's like I'm resting and it's beautiful. The next day I wake up, I get to dance, I get to enjoy my body, my soul, and it's fucking divine. It's beautiful to see women enjoying themselves, enjoying their body. And if you have a relationship where you could do that, where you could have and slow down and stop the hustling and allow yourself to feel the pleasures of your devotion in your life, oh my gosh, it's the most beautiful thing. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing that. Um, you often talk about women remembering who they are, right? We all do. We all been shamed and we all been through so many things, and what will people think? And I don't give a fuck. At this time of my life,
Yes.
we have all gone through so many things that I really don't give a fuck. I am here to create the most beautiful experience for people, and I love that about you because it's what are the biggest, or some, and you don't have to explain much, but what are the biggest ways that women disconnect themselves from?
Women are taught, and a lot of this we see it in the patriarchal world. I don't think it's like some mysterious topic that we haven't understood, but I believe that we are at a pivotal time right now. I believe that a lot of crises and things that were happening in the world right now is because women are fucking angry. Women are resentful. Women are bashing men because men created the patriarch and men have manipulated us. All of the things that we're told about, our self-worth and our value, and the whole reason why we people please, right, is we are naturally nurturers and givers, and we have been condemned for centuries. We can talk about history, countless things, the atrocities that have happened because women spoke up, because women said their truth, and men didn't like it. We could go on for days about that, but the point is that, like, when we take a look at ourselves and we come home to ourselves and we start unraveling all of those stories and really realizing that men are not our enemy. It is not we live in a human world of man eat man, carbon based, like something must die in order for something to live. It is the planet of limitations, right? And sacrifice. But I have learned through my journey that life doesn't have to be this hard. And we are taught as women that, as long as you're happy, I should be happy, kind of concept. And while that's a beautiful concept, it takes out the what about me? And when we are naturally, if women are mothers, I don't know if you're a mother or not, honestly, but if you can relate that you become pregnant and you have a baby, you're already, anticipating this beautiful thing. We already know childbirth is probably not going to be real peachy. It's not going to be an easy process. We understand that there's going to be challenges during pregnancy, but that doesn't prevent us from, most of us, from really anticipating the joy and the gift of having a child. It's a beautiful experience. And when we become mothers, or even caregivers for our parents or a sibling or something like that, there is so much love and devotion that we put into that, and we'd often discount it for ourselves. Like you said earlier, you are a powerhouse. We have taught to use our masculine and be able to execute all of these beautiful things, and really honor and nurture. We're taught, always helps people that are less than us. The Catholic religion will have you, you're always supposed to do that. But there's a balance, right? It's not, I'm supposed to give you everything that I have and at the expense of my own well being. And people sometimes will label that as selfish. So there's all these projections in viewpoints around this to the point where we have forgotten about ourselves. We have been taught to measure up to success. You grow up, you get a job, you make money, you have the successful career, you have the husband, you've had your children, you've raised them to be, fine members of society. And then we go through this crisis because we're like, well, what about me? What am I going to do? We live vicariously through others and through our children. And then when our children grow up and they need less of us, and it's like, well, but wait, what about my life? And this is where I think women really get stuck, because now we're looking at ourselves and we're like, ooh, I don't like about that. And ooh, this isn't, comfortable. And we become very just resentful
Mm.
for the way we have been treated, for the examples, experiences that we've had. And what hurts my heart the most is every single woman, I guarantee you, has had deep sense of emotional trauma in their life or known somebody who has emotional trauma related to sex. And we all walk around here as if that's normal, that sex is dirty, that sex is, we can talk about all the atrocities around that. But we as women walk around as if it's normal. And it's saddening because it's not the way it should be. We're ashamed of our bodies. We're ashamed, like, to me, for a woman to be seen, to be fully expressed in her raw, true authenticity is really at the core what women want. It's what they truly desire. But what we have been taught is that is a fantasy. That is Disneyland. That is the Barbie world dream. That doesn't exist, only in movies. At least that's what I was taught in my perspective, because men, they don't act like that. They don't behave like that. That's, look at all the evidence, look at all the experiences, your mother and the shame and the guilt that they have around that. And we need to start unraveling that, because we have inner masculine. And if we start learning how to use our inner masculine to suit us, to serve us, to honor us, to nurture us, to support us, like, all of a sudden, you start to find the mirrored reflections and you start to realize just how much you can get done and just how many things you can accomplish and be and do and have. It's like, it's limitless. And I also believe that, we're segregated that way because we are both divine of the creator of God, and there is a goddess in us. I mean, they say God created the world, right? Yeah, God is the masculine, the doing part. But guess what? His feminine, his goddess, is the one that said, create women like this, create men like this. I mean, think about it. For women, I did not know what a clitoris was. I learned my topic of sex was all of the consequences, all of the scary things. Don't get pregnant, do all of these things. These are all the, worries and things to think about and consider, instead of the pure innocence of like, hey, how about, I think about how I actually feel about this. And like, women are made with a pleasure center. Our clitoris is of no other functionality than that. Like, and we are the physical creators of life, and we don't even know how powerful we are. And I'm rambling because I'm so passionate about this topic, and I truly believe that we can marry heaven and earth. And that's what I am here to do, to show people you have a divine feminine masculine. So did God. And there was a physical representation on earth, a counterpart. It is divine and feminine and masculine energy, both in heaven and earth. And that's how we should be seduced by life and living our lives. And I am here to help women see that and open that and start that topic in what I call the red room, because you literally have to go 50 shades of gray and deep. It is all about surrender and control. And the fact that even when, if you look at the Christian gray, 50 shades of gray, It's all about the control, but she's actually in control the entire time if you think about it, because like he can only do so much and go so far, and she's telling him yes or no, and like as far as she's willing to allow him to go. And so it is this beautiful dance that you have, and my husband opened me up to that entire world. So I will stop there because I know I'm
It's getting spicy in here.
yes, I want to sprinkle
Because
50
also
shades of strawberry on this conversation and turn up the heat, because we are sexual beings. There is
yeah.
a human, people don't have lost the idea that we are human and we have the need to procreate, the raw, vulnerable human aspect to this, but there is a spiritual, and so many women are like, well, I'll take the man that will do the cleaning, that will do the dishes, that will support me, make the money, do all of the things however they need them to be supported, and well, we'll just, the fantasy world of my dream cowboy, in tight ass jeans is, a reflection, that's a fantasy world. Women do not believe they can have both. They have to give up either, and the hot guy and the dream guy that they really want, and they're really thinking about, whether it's a office fling or something like that, they can't have because he's a bad boy, because he's not good for me, because he's not emotionally unavailable. But yet it's what we women desire, right? We want to be loved. We want to be ravished. We want men to desire us and see us for who we are, but we also have to be willing to see ourselves first and take a look in the
And that's
mirror.
the thing. And that's the thing. And I appreciate for you for bringing that up, because they desire it, and silently they will cry their asses to sleep at night because
Yes,
they're heartbroken because the man will not meet her where she's at. But in reality, it's not him. It's her. It's her
exactly.
to love herself deeply enough. And that's why the love mastery came about. That's why I was so passionate about this, because I did go through
Yes,
the pain. I did go through the
yes,
shame of the body. I went through the pains of uh sexually abused. I went through all that since I was 3 years old going forward. So I had to actually leave aside whatever happened in my life and say no. I mean, if my heart is firing up because she desires more, why do I have to stay in a box where I no
thank
longer
you.
belong? Because I'm so fucking passionate, and if I have created so much impact since I was a little girl until now, that I have shown people the resilience, the courage, the goat, the, the black sheep, and I will come out of that shell. How come I cannot enjoy this amazing, passionate being that I am? And I was
Yes,
passionate, but it was a different passion. That passion that I had, it was because I didn't find myself in any form. I didn't fit in those boxes. I didn't want to be the, oh my God, professional. Yes, I was really successful in corporate, made tons of money. Was I fucking happy? No, I was not.
correct.
I
It's
wasn't
high achieving women.
fulfilled.
We bury our feelings because
Yeah.
this is the masculine way. We are a masculine driven society, and that is the physical world. Like men, it's true. Men want to create. Men are here to do, to execute, to it's the masculine energy of creation. But if they, and they're happy to follow. I mean, they're whatever it is that you want. They're here to serve you. And we women are on the spiritual end. We want the divine, trust, and we are looking for a safe space. And I mean, I've watched a beautiful series. It's called Off Campus. I think it's Netflix. But there's this TV series called Off Campus, and wow, did it have a beautiful reflection. It's about, these college kids navigating, sex and things like that. And they tell this story of how they meet, and it is steamy, it is romance, it is like sexy, all of these things. But the biggest thing is like, women have so much trauma, and to feel safe in front of a man, fully exposed of your authenticity, core essence of who you are, to me, that is, having an orgasm and having your man witness that. And it is the most beautiful because you are fully expressed, you are fully open, you are fully vulnerable. I mean, like to have that, the amount of safe space that you have to cultivate for yourself. I mean, it's an enormous undertaking for most women to be that raw and vulnerable, to
And
show themselves.
to this day, there are women that have never had an orgasm with a man because they haven't been able to allow
Correct.
themselves to love themselves deeper so that they could come and just be open to receive. And that is so
Yeah.
important because we fall in love sometimes in our growing stages with a man that cannot meet us there. A man that is devoted to
Yeah.
you, a man that is devoted to that essence of your beautiful being and the openness will make sure that you're completely satisfied. And to
Yeah.
have that
Yeah.
safe space that there's no body shame. There's nothing. You just walk into the room and you become the queen. You are served. You are devoted. That doesn't mean that you could take over and do whatever you want. It's an open, amazing embodiment of true love. That's like combine energies is such beautiful. But what I've experienced when I combine those amazing energies within me, my self pleasures became fucking explosive. I said, "Holy
Yes.
shit."
Yes.
More than
Yes.
before, more than it when I was younger. That's what I always tell women. I mean, after you're fucking 40, you already know who you are. You know you're meant for more. You go kill it. You stop abandoning yourself because you're either in that age, oh my God, am I gonna get it to 50? I don't to 50 and I don't feel fucking fulfilled. And
Right.
it's hard. I was not happy. I said I left a relationship and we are friends, good friends. We go out, we have dinners because I'm single. I don't have kids, but I'm a dog mom. And we
Well,
go out. There's no engagement in sexual activity or nothing. We just have a fully amazing friendship. But I had to set boundaries. I had to set standards. I
right.
am not happy with you. That just because, I'm in a different perspective of life. This is exactly what I want to be. This is exactly where I'm going. This is my life. This is what I love, enjoy, what makes me extremely happy. And at the end, at the first beginning, it got very uncomfortable. But you know what? One day he woke up, he said, "You know what? I'm really, truly proud of you that you are going for your true happiness." The happiness that maybe he didn't want to, maybe he not, but he respected that. A true man that will love you unconditionally will respect you for what you want. You should never be afraid of stepping forward for you, for creating your most intimate desires, because whoever loves you, it's gonna love you for who you are.
And meet you exactly where you're at. But
Yeah.
there's the caveat, it's a two-way street, right? I mean, one of the biggest things I had to do was my journey started with trusting men. And my husband was a mere reflection of everything that I didn't trust in myself, that I didn't trust in men. And when I did, he became my crutch. He became like, well, if husband, says it's okay, it's got to be okay for me. He also had to, where I say you evolve from the devotional woman to the executive woman, because you learn how to stand on your own 2 feet. You learn that like my husband, I make my own money. I make more money than he does. He doesn't care. He's not necessarily ashamed, but at the same time, over the years, it's like, well, I'm sorry that I'm not a millionaire. I'm sorry that I can't provide for you for what you want. And I mean, it was deep ache because he knew, like, he would give me. He has bought me programs for personal development. He has given me like thousands of dollars. Like when my parents didn't have money and couldn't afford college and said, too bad, so sad, figure it out. My parents said, because we're not helping you. My husband, before we were even married, he gave me a car. He gave me everything that he had, his last bottom dollar, to support my school books and to allow me to go to school because he knew it was important to me. And he would find ways to, take side jobs so that we would always have money. He was always taking care of me. But I also had to learn I needed to take care of myself. like I could hold my own wealth, I could hold my own power and not lean on him. That it's like me, you, and us, right? It's that unity of a circle. But I also figured out you can put a square peg in a round hole, because the square peg to me is your divine feminine, your divine masculine, and your physical being of a woman and a physical being of a man. So it's the physical representation, and it's all 4 points. So I view it as it is a square box, because when you have a square, all the 4 corners connected. I married my best friend. Literally, my husband is my best friend. And I'm the physical representation of what his divine feminine looks like inside of him, and vice versa. And that's how I see it, because if you think about just it's the ebb and flow, and how we dovetail back and forth. It's giving, it's receiving. So, like, you also have to realize that you can't be an ice queen, if you will, where everything in the whole world revolves around you, because you always don't play, you're not center stage and, in the spotlight. Because although men will treat women like that, happy wife, happy life, they're cutting pieces off of them. They're giving everything that they have at the expense of their own well-being and happiness. And then, we wonder why our men become short. We wonder why the steamy hot love sex, goes out the window, because they are over giving to us, trying to help us wake up, trying to serve us, trying to give us what we want when we don't even know what we want sometimes.
And
Sometimes they
that's
know, and they're helping us. They think they're helping us, and they make it worse because we're not ready to receive it. And this is everything. My husband said, hey, I'll give you everything in the world, but not at the expense of who I am as a man. I am a man
yes,
who
because
wants to serve, protect, and love.
the women were taught also to do a lot of controlling, and that's one of the things
Yes.
that I have so many male friends. I love men. I love men.
Yes, I
To
do
the
too,
day I fucking
actually.
die, I love men. I've always been more of a guy friend more than girlfriends, because most of the time we went out, girls will fucking just leave with other men, and I'm like, no, we come here together, we leave together, you know. But men will always have that amazing safety for you. And I will always make it home on time. I will always be safe. I
Yes.
didn't feel like I was going to get abandoned at the club back in, this is years ago. We will hang out. I was not fucking everybody in the fucking crowd. No, it wasn't like that. It was completely safe for me to be myself, be authentic. And
Right.
that's what the woman didn't have. And they love that. Men love women that could be themselves, authentic, vulnerable, and ask exactly what you need. And you want to control them. They love freedom. They love to just be free. But if we control them, we're not here to fix them. And I remember I went through that. I went through those stages that I tried to fix. I'm like, what the fuck I'm trying to fix? I just
Yeah.
have to remove myself, because it's not worth it for me to spend my time, my emotions, and cry for someone that is not willing to meet me here, because I knew I was meant for more. I knew that I would desire more. I knew that I was not fucking crazy. So if you can't meet me here, then I gotta go. And it just takes that time for you to just hit yourself so many times against the wall to realize that you are worthy of more. That's the thing. A lot of women,
Yes.
they need more self-development, personal development, their own transformation. It just takes one simple step. I simply decide to love myself more so that I could be her. And when they realize that love is everything for you, around you, and through you, and the people you attract are the people that you're mirroring yourself every fucking day.
Exactly.
Never be afraid to set boundaries. Never be afraid walking away from people that are just making you miserable and making you always, oh yeah, because when you surround yourself with people that are not matching you, you will stay stuck in old patterns that it will make you sick.
Exactly. I can't even begin to tell you, like, the disconnection that we have from our bodies, and the foods that we eat, and, just the medicines that are supposedly, everybody wants, it's the human nature. We want the easy street. And yes, we want to take the easy route out. We want to do what's most convenient because we all have busy lives. And this is where, I think a lot of where we are flawed in the personal growth and development space is because we're like, think positive, think happy thoughts, think, future focused. But what we're not saying is in goal setting, it's always about the goal and it's continuous learning improvement. If I was supposed to accomplish steps 1 through 32 and I only completed 22 steps, like a conversation with most girlfriends or coworkers or whatever is and family is going to be, well, how could you have done better because you're 10 steps shy? So what could we have done to improve that? How could we have learned from this? What could we have done better? And that's all great, fine and dandy, but we're discounting how far we've come. We're discounting everything that we have done and the resilience and all of the things that we did to get here at this point in time. And because we are not taught to recognize ourselves and the gifts and the embodiment and the things that we have, is where we become so disconnected because we're always like looking outside of us, looking forward, looking into improvements. And so to me, that's where the disconnect is. We're never looking at ourselves. And like I said before we started recording, I said, I didn't come here to talk about my business. I said, the business, the money doesn't even fucking matter. And I've had so many people tell me that, and I'm like, how does it not matter? Because we have to make money to survive. I have to. We abandon ourselves at the expense for a dollar. I mean, for this, $1 million bill that I have sitting here, what we will do and put up with and take on because we think this person is going to give us our next break. This person is going to get us out of a rut. This thing is going to solve all of our problems. And it's not that. You have to be willing to speak up and walk yourself through. And this is where the leadership comes in. I'm fucking terrified to show up, but I'm here anyway because my soul has led me here. And of course, like I said, I manifested a spot here on your podcast because I'm the magistrar of love. My master of fine arts is literally in love. It's an art form. You can't measure love. It has no bounds. It has no limits. I mean, it is unconditional when you give it and receive it from a clear channel. We can't measure that. So what's my college degree? My college degree and my expertise is from the experience of however many years I have been on this planet. And really it accelerated when I met my husband in my 20s. I have known him over half my life now. I mean, we are going to be married 28 years in December, or I'm sorry, know each other for 28 years, and we've been married for 20. And the amount of depth and the amount of details, I mean, it's difficult because I have a lifetime of love, pure in so many ways. And it's like to describe that to someone and to share it all. Of course, we want some sort of energetic exchange for that, because if I can shorten, 28 years of hardships and gut wrenching heartbreaks and the dark nights of the souls where I felt I was going to die and my whole entire marriage was going to fall apart and I didn't even want to be here anymore kind of concept, because it was so hard to choose between family and my husband. And like, how is it that God is asking me to leave my family as I know it? And it was the most beautiful gift, but it wasn't like peaches and roses, like this was easy. And if I can help somebody through 28 years of all of this live a happy life in a year and transform them, I was sure fucking hope it's worth the money to pay me for it. If I can save your marriage, if I can help you in grow and make your own money or learn to love your life, That's what I want to do. It's not the money, but of course, the money, it comes from the universe. People are willing to pay me because I have something that I can help them and accelerate their path and quantum leap. And I truly believe that. And it took me until here today. Now, literally, I've been unraveling all of my money stories. And yesterday I had a beautiful conversation with somebody. And I says, of course you would have this conversation right before I'm going live tomorrow. And of course it would be on the 11th at 11 a.m. because 11 is my mastery number. And I could go on and on about all the beautiful ways that this aligns for me. And I love it. And I love women. And I'm ready. I am whole and complete and ready to help and serve humanity and women. And let's fucking go already.
So beautiful. I fucking love you. And
I love you
this
too.
is the thing. This is the beauty of collaboration. You know, you manifested to be here. And yes, and I'm like, let's go. And look how beautiful it is. Look how beautiful it is to connect. Look how beautiful it is. And that's what I tell women out there. You want to have the life, and I want to go back to a little bit what we talked about. You want to have, because a lot of women want the easy way in, right? They want the
Yeah,
soft life of really wealthy men. If a woman does not do her embodiment and her healing, she's not going to be able to hold the wealth. And at some point, the men will get
correct.
tired because
Correct.
he's not meant, a strong masculine man is not meant to fix her neither. And if she cannot hold the
Correct.
wealth and hold the love and hold the household, because we are neuter but we're not here to fix them, we're here to have that neuter so they could come home.
Right. And it's about learning the roles. It's learning the dynamics. I mean, my husband is great at certain things and I'm
Mm.
excel at other things. I mean, for example, simply there is usually one person who handles all the bookkeeping or the finances in the household between the man and the woman. Like my husband, we worked it out. You take some care of some of these bills, I take some care of some of these bills. We have a joint account, so we figured out our finances and we have a rhythm, but it's always us. And my husband, I mean, I swear he taught me the us concept, because I would say my son and my this and I that, and he'd be like, where's the we in this? And I'm like, yeah, our children. But even now, I mean, I have a son that's graduating and going to law school. And it's hilarious because both my husband and I are manifesting generators of the strongest kind. He is a 5-1 and I am a 3-5. And there's literally fire. There's fire. I'm a Sagittarius. He's a Gemini. I mean, I could go on and on about how we are the perfect match. But guess what? We are raising two, not one, but two 6'2" projector children. And I go, well, that makes a lot of sense why I can't motivate them by telling them what to do. Because my husband, he's learning and understanding, not that he thinks our children are lazy, but manifesting generators. I mean, I've got all four motor centers, but let me tell you, I'm an emotional authority. And despite what people say, I have a lot of energy, but it takes all four motor centers for me to process the energy that I have as an emotional authority. And it's not, okay, I'm going to go run marathons and physically do all of this exercise and eat, hundreds of foods and I'm going to be like a bodybuilder kind of energy, right? I am the hummingbird, like where my energy just vibrates. It's such a high frequency. It's like, beyond what most people can hear. And it is like literally so fine tuned. And now I'm starting to tap into that. And I think people are listening and people are hearing and people are following and really, sensing that. But I can't, I mean, I can't take credit for where I am today because my husband was the crutch of it all. And so many beautiful women reflecting back the power into me and reflecting back that this is who I am. And to have a mentor to witness me in my full divinity and power, from a soul sister to a soul sister and feminine to feminine. I mean, talk about that. That's another, soulgasm experience like no other, to have a conversation and for someone to receive that. Especially for me, because that is my core wounding. I'm raw. I'm, vulnerable. I speak the truth, not necessarily always. It's a place from love, but people don't receive it. They receive it how they're going to receive it. I, trigger people because, I've had people say, well, your offers are too sexy. If you make it more spiritual, then maybe I might be inclined to buy. And I went, well, that's the whole fucking point, woman. You got some internal work to do, because how you feel matters. But we're not taught. We want to sweep it underneath the rug. We
Yeah,
literally
I
do.
call it spiritual bypassing because in reality, spirituality is love, spirituality is money, spirituality is also combining energy, spirituality is sensuality. People mistake a lot of that. And I
Yeah.
also want to bring and point out that we are not pointing finger to any woman that has not done this work. Actually,
Thank you.
if you
It's a
have
lot.
been in a relationship that it's not serving you, I want you to come home to yourself. Just allow yourself to breathe for a second. And what is it teaching you? Where is it within your body that you know? Because we know. We just, our mind will try to take us to keep us safe. But we know, where am I abandoning myself that I can't? Why am I staying here? Where I don't feel valued. When if I cry, oh, you're just a bitch. No. Vulnerability is the most beautiful
Correct.
thing. And you are an emotional authority. I am an emotional authority. We're actually close because I'm a 3-6. So I feel everything. I'm a role model. I cannot come here and teach you for anything that I learned from a book. No, I had to embody this shit. I had to go through the pain to as a life
Yes.
experimenter
Yes.
to come here and to also allow people like you to come into my space, because stories is what really does so much transformation in this world. We are meant to speak our truth, to come here in our truth. And if it freaking triggers you, it's because you're still abandoning a part of you that is asking for more. And when people
Correct.
realize that, I see things that maybe I'm not aligned in, but I come back to myself because I'm aware that it's anything triggering me, either I let it go because it's not meant for me, it's meant maybe for others. But if it's triggering me because I haven't got there yet, so thank you for allowing me to see that, because maybe that's going to
Exactly.
be my next step. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it's already here. It's the awareness. And I want women in this whole world to understand that there's different layers, there's different parts of your body and mind and soul and healing and transformation and
Yes.
ancestor. We could go back to years and years and years. And as an 11, I'm a 9. I'm not here to fucking sugarcoat shit. I'm here to move
Nope.
on, to create a fucking impact in this world, to allow women to open themselves, to be liberated, to live the life in fully essence of love and authenticity, because it just creates the most beautiful life that you could ever dreamed of. And
Yes.
it might be hard. I'm not sitting here that this has been a piece of cake for any of us. But what if,
Correct.
let's say, for instance, you're in your early stages. What if you just start today? What if you just say, you know what, she's right. I'm just going to fucking try it on. Just try it on.
Well, here's the thing, and I think where it sums up, I learned all of this by accepting one solid core truth: duality. If you are sad, the opposite is happy. If you are angry, there's excitement. So, how you feel right here, right now, there is an opposite truth to be found, to be discovered. So it doesn't matter the circumstances. It doesn't matter the situation that you're in. Okay. Like, we all have lived grave trauma. Okay. My trauma might look different than someone else's. But when we understand as a core human person, we have all gone through things. I will never understand what it is to live in poverty, for example, from not having enough food to eat, from being homeless, from not, like starving for days. That's not my story. But I have a lot of love and compassion for somebody who does. And that doesn't mean that I should just be like, bitch, easy for you to say, kind of thing, and have all kinds of projections and judgments. It happens. We're human. We often think that people don't understand because our situations are unique. But the underlying theme is that, we all have it. And if we can, sit with ourselves and look at it from a perspective and understand each other on a deeper level, we have more respect, we have more patience, and we start to see each other as gifts and be like, well, you know for example, I mean, I didn't fit all the criteria for your podcast, right? But and on some levels, it didn't matter because there was enough connection and there was enough alignment that it made it to take a risk, to take a chance, to just go for it. And that's the first part, is if we understand there is, like, most people will believe in God and some sort of higher power, but they don't believe in the devil. They're just like, oh, people can't be that evil. People can't think that way. Like, we don't believe it. There is evil fucking shit in this world. Okay. But we want to, society has said, well, don't worry about that. Be happy, sweep it under the rug. We don't care about that. And we have been taught for far too long to ignore. We need to feel, we need to process it. It's fucking hard as hell, but we all go through it on some levels, and that's what the world is for, because we connect with the people that have similar stories, similar backgrounds, and even different ones, because they give us a different angle of what we're going through. The only way we can discover the beauty in life is if we close our eyes and take a look within, because it's found in the darkness. It is found in the silence. We hear the frequencies. Like, I am a dark night of the soul. And my son, he gave me such a beautiful quote. Those who do not wander aren't always lost. And I don't think that's the right way to say it, but I'm forgetting how to say it. But he's my protector with the melancholy channel and a hermit, and he is the most beautiful soul with an open heart, and he doesn't even know it. And it breaks my heart to see this, that he doesn't see the beauty in himself. I mean, and he has a journey. He's an emotional too. And the more I work on myself, the more I show my children what's possible in life, the more they grow. And my son has, when you actually can get him to kind of start opening up and having a conversation, the beautiful things that come out of him, like, melt my heart. And I go, what a beautiful reflection of me. There is a mirror for you to receive. We are not meant to receive all of the negative. We have to be able to be open to receive the positive. And that is the duality of life. And we start thinking, okay, I'm sad. I don't want to be sad. What can I do? What is this sadness about? And we sit with it. We can genuinely start navigating, processing, and lead us to a happier place. I mean, I've come from a background of depression. I used to be on all the, medications, pop the pill, and everything's fine and dandy, until it made me sicker and sicker and sicker. Until I had to go through a whole body detox where my body didn't function in certain aspects. So I needed pills for that. And then when I found detox my body, I didn't need any of those pills, because my body came back to where it's meant to be and where it fully functions now. And I'm forever grateful for, learning these things. But that's what, I guess, to me, the core truth is, when you embody and accept, duality in life, you have an opportunity to change it. There's infinite possibilities, and it doesn't matter which one you choose, because you either get the results that you want or the lesson that you need to get you there. So it's a win-win. And most of
Yeah.
us want to be perfect and not screw it up. And I've been there, scared as fucking hell, wondering what the fuck it is that I'm actually doing, and have I lost my goddamn mind?
Well, generators are like that. We just dive in. We're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm going to create it anyway. And if I fail, that's fine, because I'm learning from it and I could teach people how to do it. It doesn't matter. We continue to grow,
Yeah.
but it's amazing when we have human design. I use human design also because it has. changed my life too. And I appreciate the amazing mentors that I've had. And
Yes.
I'm not an expert in human design, but I dive in every day, and I'm like, I learn more and I learn more. But I have learned so many things in my life, and I don't have that many certificates to come here. I don't need to show you any certificates. I don't need to show you any bachelor's degree to tell you that the more that you embody the person you are based on your true purpose, the love that
Yes.
you have for life, what you really makes you extremely happy is a full body fuck yes. There's I mean, life is inedible
Minus
that
the
actually
emotions.
it will fall in love with you back, and it will seduce you to the point that you will start creating the life that you desire. It just takes that time. It just takes one step to devote yourself over and over and over, come home to yourself and allow yourself to just breathe in the essence of love and your authentic self. Once you start there, there's nothing in this world that you cannot conquer. Of course, you have to learn how to heal yourself. We've been through that. I also took myself from anxiety, depression, and all that. Um, and I no longer take any pills for that. Thank God. It's been 4 years
Yes.
now. I think 4 or 5 years now. And it's beautiful. But, at the end of the day, love is everything for you. The more you love yourself, the more you devote yourself. There's nothing in this world that you can't conquer because you know you will be safe. You could trust to continue to create. You can trust. You could take time as an emotional generators or emotional authority. I feel it all. And I just take time.
Yeah.
Now, when you regulate your emotions, it's a different fucking level. I went from like, oh my God, years ago to like being in bed for months to now it's like, oh, I feel this. Oh, it's okay to feel. And I release, and next thing you know, I come here and do a fucking live. Let's go. Life must go on. And why it takes that embodiment and it takes that devotion that we've been talking
It
about.
is. Exactly what you said. I've gone from that too. You have someone that triggers you and you lose your shit on them, and it literally would take me weeks, days, months of silence, or having an argument with my husband, and now I can turn it around and be like, catch myself in the moment even, and being like, oh, okay, I lost my shit, but guess what, here's what did happen. I mean, this was me yesterday. I lost my shit with someone, and I literally put a post about it because I was like, how quickly I lost my shit. And then I stopped to really, pause as I was, in between getting ready for the morning. And I realized, because, it was just a call, and I was like, I got to get ready for the day. I'm reflecting and I'm like, look at, I was able to, respond to someone in one of my community groups and give her a reflection that helped her, take with her some wisdom, because it was once where I was. And I was able to help walk her through and navigate and give her some wisdom and knowledge to carry on, to continue forward. And what a beautiful thing. And then, we ended up connecting about, and I'm like, oh, and I just manifested, being on this podcast. And I'm like, and then there's this other, call that I'm going to have later this evening about a woman who wants to connect to me about some opportunities. And it's like, all of a sudden, this, I lost my shit with this person was like, big fucking deal. I mean, not a big fucking deal, but in hindsight, it's like my problem, it's the 80-20 rule. I've flipped it. It's, 80%, 90% of joy and love and bliss and beauty, and look at me. And it's not a look at me from a, I want people to validate, but it's like, look at me, how far I've come, and honor. And like, we as women are afraid to embody that. We think it's like we're bragging. It thinks we're shallow people, and we annoy people by it, but it's the truth. When you start to live life how you want it to, all of a sudden you see it in a whole brand new perspective, and people are genuinely more happy around you, and things are more exciting. And it's like, how is this my life? Versus, oh, okay, well, this person just dumped all this stuff on me, and how am I going to figure this out, and blah 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 blah, whatever the story is. It doesn't even matter, because it's like, I've got all these other things, so why am I sweating, the small stuff? And I've just learned to reverse that in my life of, as a mentor calls it, champagne problems, right? You're always going to have problems, but I would rather have the problem of deciding I can't decide where I'm going to go on vacation this Christmas versus how am I going to afford a vacation. I mean, it's about the perspectives. And you have to truly believe and embody it. And it's about trust and faith in yourself that even when shit looks gruely and chaotic and messy, that you can still navigate and lead yourself through it.
That's beautiful. And yes, and like I said, it comes in different forms. So as long as
Yes,
you know how to manage it, take a deep breath, come back when you're ready. I always teach people you cannot make decisions from a high emotional perspective, neither on a low. You just come into neutral and allow yourself to come back if you want to answer. Sometimes you don't owe anyone any fucking answer, and that's a choice of you. I mean, is it
correct.
yeah, you treat people with respect, but you don't want to burst your emotions or let your shadows out if you already done the work. You know much better
Right.
than that. Because that's another lesson. Are you ready to move on to your next chapter? That's how I see it. Like, am I ready? Am I already ready to be rejected? Am I ready to just show up and try people to come and tell me I'm a piece of shit? I don't give a fuck because I literally don't care. You know how much work it has taken to be here because I decided to be fully
I do.
me. And
I do. I can imagine. Like, I'm not you. I never will know how much work it was. I will never understand how you feel. I can deeply relate. I can deeply
yes,
respect and have a mutual bond in that. But for me to say, like, well, I'm going to, project all this crap onto you because in order for you to understand what it was like to be me and go through X, Y, and Z, like, you have to feel it too. And this is where we are in the world. People are projecting everything out because that's the law of energy. Like, the atoms or energy, you put it in a box, eventually it's like the Chernobyl explosion. you know it's things are breaking down, things aren't working anymore, and the energy is compiling and compiling and compiling, and it's got to go somewhere. It's either going to explode or erupt like a volcano. I mean, it's part of life, but we have to be able to navigate it, and it's not necessarily we do one extreme to another because we have to know where our limits, where did we start and where do we want to go. But when we start understanding that even time is not linear, it's you know warped, there's different, I believe in the dimensions of time. It's atemporal coherence. Like, you're always connecting to your past and to your present and to your future, and what you do here and now. Like, you can heal your stories now, which heals your karmic past if you believe in past lives. But you not only do you go back and you say, hey, when I was a little girl, I see this so much differently. Instead of a place of shame, I should have known better. And when you look at the past in hindsight and you realize how this all evolved for you, like, you can have beauty, you can have honor, you can have grace of look at how far I've come, and heal that past version of you while you are living. And it changes the trajectory of your future. And I think that that's what people need to start understanding, and realizing what you do here and now is a choice that takes you to where you want to go. And if you're bumping into a lot of hardships, it's literally the universe going, no, nope, 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 until they slam the door. I mean, countless things of how can you see it as a blessing in disguise? I had to do that for myself because I worked for a corporation for 13 years. And I literally poured my blood, sweat, and tears into it, proving, showcasing and being, I'll do what it takes, whatever you want. I can do this. You said this is my job. And the power of deciding, the power of that. There's a whole story around that, but I learned the power of deciding. And when I did everything possible and the company decided to do a reorg, they said, see you, Charlie, here's your pink slip. And I went, what? What? Hold on. I'm like, I gave you everything. How do you not see my value? I believed I had so much value, but I also believed it was tied to someone's Excel spreadsheet of
oh
worth
yeah.
and metrics and whatever you want to call it for human, resources, that performance plans and reviews. My performance plan and review was tied to my self value and worth. because what I was pouring into it, I was not receiving back. And I had to work through
No.
all of those energetic blocks.
Yeah.
And
I went through
so
it too.
it's, yeah, but it was a blessing in disguise
Oh yeah,
because the
because if not, I would have
universe,
never been here talking to you, and such a
exactly,
pleasure and relax.
exactly. Like, had that not happened, if everything was going fine and hunky dory, why would I change it? And
Yeah.
why would I have any other reason to move on? And this is what happens. We get comfortable, we get into a rhythm, we know what to expect, and we all know this is patterns in our shadows, right? We go, oh well, whatever. At least I know that I've got a paycheck. At least that I know, I know what to do in this situation, no matter how shitty it is. It's half the reason why we stay stuck until someone, really, it's through fear that bravery is, formed. It's true. Because when we're backed in the corner and we don't feel like we have a choice, but the problem is that when we are so far, backed into a corner and feeling like we have absolutely no choice left, either we form bravery or we form chaos, right? We make a choice out of lack, or we say, you know what? I know God does not give us challenges that we cannot handle, and there is more to life than this. I have lived by that. Even at 5 years old, I knew there was something more to life than what I was living, than where I was at. And I believe that with all of my heart. And it's why I'm here today. But I had to be like, thank God that happened, because had it happened, I probably would have stayed and spent another 5 years of my life in turmoil.
Yeah, I remember the days I said when I decided like in 2017, I'm like, this is not feeling good. And then in 2018, I went rock bottom. That was one of the big ones. I was sick, blood transfusion. It was a
Oh,
fucking mess.
wow.
And I said, I need to rewire my mind, and I just need to go in there and just make my money and come home. And it started on a work in progress, right? Because you can't shift your mindset in one day. It doesn't happen like that. You have to kind of see yourself every day. But in 2021, I hit rock bottom again. And I said, you know what? I really need to just stay out of it. I'm just coming here, sitting on the desk, make the money, and go home. And I started just building and building and building until I quit corporate
Yeah.
last year. Yeah, and let's just move on because the
But
I
it's not
was
mind.
so sick. I was so sick that it wasn't me anymore. I didn't want to be here neither.
Yeah. But
It's
it's not our
hard.
mindset. It's not our mindset because, we live from the head up and we think, oh, the whole idea, and we wonder why manifestation doesn't work. And I had my coach explain this so beautifully and eloquently, but I'll try to summarize this real quick. But it's really about, like, I'm a good person. Okay. You can tell yourself that over and over and over again, but nobody pays attention. When I say I'm a good person, how does that feel? If you're feeling anxiety about it, if you're feeling like your voice is cracking, it doesn't change because we have a thought and a feeling. And if we have a positive thought and a negative feeling, well, that's not going to work, right? We can say opposites attract, but it is opposites attract like for like. In the personal growth and development, it's all about I can write 1,000 times. I'm a beautiful, sexy, grown ass woman. But if I don't feel sexy, I can't adopt that. My mind will not allow me to, because the hidden underlying surface and subconscious wealth of knowledge says, well, there's this experience, that experience, another experience. You're not sexy. I mean, how I was treated. And when we start to unravel how we feel, most of us don't want to go and feel that because it feels icky. It feels hard. It feels like, but that's the only way is through it. And we don't have to do it alone. We have
Yeah.
women like you, like,
You.
across the entire world. The internet gives us the infinite possibility to connect with people, to find our tribe, to find women that will hold us, that will help us. And it's not about, like, I tell my husband all the time, I says, you've opened so many doors for me. And I says, but he's also the man, not only who unlocked the door, you know um, he also held my hand while I walked through.
That's
And
beautiful.
he allowed, he knew some of this was my own, some of this I needed time, some of this I needed space, but we were able to balance and find and cultivate, like, certain things he just needs space. I know when he needs his space, I need my space. And then we kind of come back together and discuss or talk about it. But we have gotten to a point where we've just been fine tuning instead of, light the stick of dynamite. Now we're lighting the candle.
That's beautiful. So let me ask you something. And by the way, I did decide just to go there and make the money because I was already building because I didn't want to be that sick if I just put too much mind into it. I said, I know my
No,
worth.
and
I'm
I'm
just going to
not,
continue meeting. It's like I
thank
was
you.
just done with it. I was just done. I'm like, I'm not going to argue with them. I'm not going to prove my worth. I know who the fuck I am. I'm just going to build myself out. I told my boss I'm gonna retire by 50. I collapsed 3 years before. So it's all
Mm,
possible. It's all freaking
it
possible.
is.
It's just and exactly you say, look for help. Do not be afraid to reach out to there's so many mentors to Mary, to me, to
Yes.
any of my friends. You need someone, I'm a master connector. Come and DM me. It's so easy to DM someone, hey, I want to connect. I want to connect. Let
Yes.
me get on a free freaking call. I'm not going to sell you anything on a free call. I want to know who you are. What are you building? Can I help you? Or can I just refer you to someone? And it's so easy to connect
Exactly.
because there's always someone here to help you thrive because we know what it takes to get here. So I
We
want
do.
to ask you,
Yes.
what do you think that the world needs more of?
They need more conversations about sex and how they feel about it. And
Good.
we literally need, spiritually, emotionally, physically, we need to start opening up and talking about our stories. There are so many women that are laying hidden because they're ashamed of what happened to them sexually, emotionally. I mean, like, we need to start healing ourselves from the inside out. And I believe the topic of sex is the most controversial thing because, you know but it's the core part of who we are, of being human. I mean, people like sex, people want to have sex, but if you say I like talking about sex, like, imagine how many different words that people can attach to that. And for me, it is sex is 50 shades of gray. I'm living 50 shades of gray type frequency. My husband and I have such depth, emotional connection, aliveness. I mean, I have been given mirrored reflections, like we are like the beautiful couple. We are the twin flames in all of it, both spiritually and physically and mentally. We've figured out, we've had those conversations of what I want, what I like, what I'm interested, what I don't like. And to me, that's the 50 shades of gray, right? We have depths. There are things that we are scared of, but can you have a man help you, sit with you? And this goes back to earlier I said about this off campus, of a man who creates enough space to hold a woman, to allow her to express and see, explore the things that she's afraid of, knowing that I've got you. Think about it as like hypnosis, like you go to a hypnotherapist, you pour your trust in someone, that you're going to be safe no matter what, through the process, and lead you through the journey of the dark soul, or navigate through the dark. Because what I have found navigating in the dark night of the soul, I feel like Elle, is it Elle or 11 from Stranger Things? She sits in cold water, which lowers your body temperature almost to a freezing. You're almost like in a deep meditative state, to the point where everything is dark, but you can feel the frequencies. You can hear in the silence the high vibrational, um, frequencies. And like, I'm never lost, because like I know now how to listen, how to be open up and sit in the stillness. And then all of a sudden it's like a pinful of light. And my husband and I, we always we have this thing, it's keeper of the stars. I says, literally, if you look up in the sky, I said, I'm a star in the sky. And I said, that's what it feels like to me, of the light that comes in. It is a huge ass star, like from hundreds of thousands, who knows, galaxies away, but it shows up as a tiny, tiny, tiny little dot in the sky. But when you're sitting alone in the dark and you can navigate and walk with your fear and invite it, I call it, walking with the Lilith, the dark feminine energy, seeing, okay, sacred rage, this doesn't work anymore. It's no different than the lightning strike that burns down an entire forest to right the wrongs and create balance and allow new growth to happen. We can't, I mean, we are part of nature, but we don't want to accept that. We don't want to accept the duality of life. Yes, life is unfair, life sucks, there's ups and downs, but it gets better. We can get through it if we're willing to sit and face ourselves and allow all of this to process through our bodies, because we're not meant to hold it. We are meant to take it all in, process it, and return it back to the light. I feel
Yeah.
like we take all of this in. When we process it, we shine light out or we shine darkness. We
We
sit
come
in
back stronger,
darkness.
and that's beautiful. That's
Right. We
beautiful.
radiate. And I mean, ever think about a woman who gets pregnant? A lot of people will say you're glowing. And
Oh
and that,
yeah.
and that's literally what it is. It's an energetic feeling that you cultivate inside of you, and you're comfortable sitting in the dark with yourself. That's my perspective and where I come from, because like 11 in Stranger Things, she's got all the superpowers. She can do anything, right? But she also has to have that space and really to sit and cultivate and then understand what she has to do, where she has to go, what challenges she has to face in order to, make things right. And it's really making peace with ourselves in whatever it is that was done to us, not done to us, and how do we change and craft a new story.
I love that. Oh my God, we had so much fun, and
I
we're
know,
coming
I had
to
so
the
much fun.
end. Mary, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. As always, it's always a
Thank you.
pleasure sharing a space with beautiful women like you. You're gorgeous. You have a beautiful heart. The energy is amazing. I love your vibe, and I know that you're cultivating and bringing the most beautiful impact in this world. And people,
Yes.
please connect with her. I'm going to leave the link also below so you could guys just connect with her, and do not be afraid to send her a message and say, "Hey, Lily, I fucking love you. I want to meet you." And let's go. Yeah. I know that our
Thank you.
listeners are walking away with a clear understanding how beautiful devotion, self-trust, feminine power, relationship, and what truly means in this world to just be authentic, to love yourself more. There's love is non-negotiable in my world, and it should be for you as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting amazing the Love Mastery podcast. And like always, my name is Blanca Angelica Rivera. And as always, a pleasure to bring amazing fucking people in this world. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
Love you
Thank you.
guys.
Love you.